Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. So you guys want to do this granny square? It's a beauty, and I know it looks complicated. Guess what? It's not, because I'm going to show you. I'm going to make it easy for you. Alright, are you ready? So this is a stained glass granny square. It's a big one. It's a big one. The big ones mean less that you have to make for a blanket, right? That's a good thing. It's 13 inches across. My gosh, it's pretty. Well, do you guys want to talk about the yarn that I used? So I'll tell you just a little bit about this granny square. So this is one solid granny square. It's not the colored part is underneath and then the black is sewn on. A lot of times stained glass granny squares are done like that. This one is actually one solid. And here's the back. Sorry, I didn't hide my tails. Oh, I did, didn't I? Oh, I didn't. I have one hanging. Anyways, so that's the back. And here is the front. Now you will need to know the basics, you know. It does have, single crochet, double crochet. It's got some bobbles, which I'll show you how to do. And these are actually very long post stitches. They're not hard to do though. I'll teach you how to do those. And some decreasing, double crochet decreasing, and other than that, you know, I could teach you how to do it. You're good. You got this. You want to get started? You want to talk about the yarn? Sure, it's pretty though, isn't it? Think of all the color combos you can do in that. You know, you wouldn't even have to make a stained glass. It kind of looks a little, you know, if you're into like Halloween, it could be kind of spider webby, you know. You could put another color underneath that black. But these post stitches here, you know, they kind of line up with each other accordingly. Most of them do, you know. Kind of branch off here. Anyways, enough talk. More action. Let's do it. Let's talk about the yarn that I used. Alright, so for this particular granny square, the colorful yarn that you see is Ice Yarns Picasso. Now, I buy this, or I did buy it, at iceyarns.com. I know that you can, directly from the source. I know that people sell it on Amazon and whatnot, but that's where I bought mine because people ask. It is a medium weight number 4 acrylic polyester blend. And here is the number on the bag because people ask that too, because they do have a few different rainbows from time to time. And that is the number. So if you go to Ice Yarns and type that in, if they have it, I don't know, you know, they run out quite a bit. That's the number of this particular one. And then the black yarn that you see, I do not have a label, but I can tell you what it is. This is Premier Basic, which is a 100% acrylic yarn. It's a medium weight number 4, and the color is called charcoal. Now, of course, you can use any colors that you want. It is completely up to you. You're making the granny, you make it how you want. I just made mine to look like stained glass because I love this yarn here. And then I'm going to be using a size I, which is a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. Now, of the colored, multicolored, or the colorful yarn that you see, for each square, you're probably going to need about 100 yards of yarn because it does have a couple row of bobbles, and those can tend to be a bit of a yarn eater. Now for the black, I would say about 50 yards for that. All right, so that's for each square. So if you want to make a blanket, remember they're 13 inches, so you can just kind of add it up like that. All right, well, move this thing out of the way again. Let's do this. All right, I'm going to go ahead and make it with the black because you'll be able to see what I'm doing with the black. Yeah, it'll be fine. All right, so you want to go ahead and start off with a slip knot on your hook. You can use the magic circle for this if you prefer. I'm going to do the slip knot, and then I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then I'm going to slip stitch back into the first stitch to form our ring. Just like that. So now we're going to be working in that ring. I'm going to do a chain 1, which does not count as a stitch. Doesn't count as anything, so we can just pretend like it's not even there. I'm going to work 12 double crochets through the center of this ring. So I'm going to yarn over and go through the center of the ring and draw up a loop. And then I'm going to do my double crochet. So that's 1 double, again, through the center, back up. That's 2 doubles. Again, through the center, back up. That's 3 doubles, and we want to continue this until we get a total of 12. There's 4, 5, and I'll meet back up with you when I get my 12. Alright, so I've made it to the end of round 1, and I have a total of 12 double crochets. So we're going to go ahead and slip stitch into the top of our first double crochet. I'm going to add my other color of yarn here. I'm not going to tie this black off. I'm going to carry it with me throughout. So I'll be working with 2 yarns at the same time. Towards the end we'll clip them, but right now it's easier than hiding a bunch of tails just to let them hang out there at the beginning and swap them back and forth, you know. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I went ahead and put my hook through the stitch that I was going to slip stitch, and I'm going to go ahead and pull my new color through like that. And I'm going to flip it over on the back, and I'm going to take the tail of my new color and the tail of the dark color here, and I'm going to tie a knot so this doesn't come undone, and that would be unfortunate. Alright, there we go. Now we can press on. Okay, let's go ahead and start row 2. Now remember, you got a tail hanging here and you got your black still attached. It's just easier that way. You don't have to do it that way if it's hard for you, but I'm going to go ahead and work with it like that. So what we're going to do now is we are going to do a bobble stitch row. So we're going to chain 1 and turn our work, because in order for the bobble stitch to work, it has to be worked on the back side. So we are going to do a bobble in the very first stitch here that we slip stitched into. So right here where we started, right there, that little spot, see it? What we're going to do is go in, yarn over, go into that spot, and draw up a loop. You got 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and go through the first 2 loops on your hook. We want to do that 5 times total, that being number 1, all in the same stitch. Again, yarn over, go into the same spot, drop a loop. Now you got 4 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through the first 2. So that's 2 times we've done that. Again, yarn over, go into the same spot, drop a loop. Now we got 5 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and go through the first 2. So that's 3 times we've done that. Yarn over again, go into the same spot there, drop a loop. And now we have 6 loops. We're going to yarn over and go through the first 2. One more time, yarn over, go into the same spot, drop a loop. So we did that 5 times. And you have 7 loops there on your hook. Now we're going to yarn over and go through the first 2, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that remain. We are going to yarn over and go through all 6, just like that. Give it a little tug. Okay, and in the next stitch, directly into the next stitch, we're going to go into just the next one. I know it's black yarn, but please bear with me. Right here, the next one, 2 single crochets into that stitch. There's 1, and there's 2. And that's what we're going to repeat for this round. So let's go ahead and work a bobble again into the next stitch. So we're going to yarn over and go into the next stitch, draw up a loop, 3 loops on our hook, yarn over and go through the first 2, knocks it down the 2 loops on our hook. We want to do that 5 times, so that would be number 1. Again, yarn over and go through the same stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops on your hook. 3 loops now that remain. Yarn over again, draw up a loop, go through the first, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops on your hook. 4 loops that remain. We've done that 3 times. So again, here's number 4, yarn over, go into the same spot, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. 5 loops that remain. One more time, yarn over, go in the same spot and draw up a loop. That was 5 times we did that. Yarn over and go through the first 2 loops on your hook, and you have 6 loops that remain. Yarn over and go through all 6. Give it a tug and 2 single crochets in the next stitch. There's 1 and there's 2. All right, let's do a bobble again. 1, 2, bobble in the next stitch. Let's do it. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. We're going to do that 5 times. That was number 1. There's 2. 3. 4. 5 times, 6 loops remain. Yarn over and go through all 6. Give it a tug, 2 single crochets into the next stitch. There's 1 and 2, and that's the pattern that we're going to repeat all the way around. Now if you flip it back to the right side, you can see your bobbles are facing the right side now. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this out, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of row 2. Alright, so I've come to the end of row 2. Okay, we're going to go ahead and end by slip stitching into the top of this first bobble. I'm going to bring my black yarn back up though. So what I'm going to do is grab my black yarn. I'm going to keep my multicolored yarn attached. So I'm going to go through the top of the bobble like I'm going to do a slip stitch, but I'm not going to pull the multicolor through. I'm going to pull the black through. Just like that. All right. Now we are going to chain 1. And we're going to turn our work back around. So now we're on the front side of our work. So we're going to start off and we're going to come over here to these 2 single crochets here. And we're going to put 1 single crochet in each of those. So 1 single crochet. And then 1 single crochet into the next. Now we're going to do a V-stitch around this bobble here. So I'll show you what we're going to do. We're going to yarn over like we're going to do a double crochet, but we're going to go down to the bottom of the bobble, kind of right here. We're in the same stitch as the bobble that we put the bobble in. If you choose, you can actually go in between the 2 stitches underneath the bobble. Either will work. And double crochet. And I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to do the same thing in the same spot. Another double crochet. Like that. So that kind of just put that bobble in between the middle of that V-stitch. This is what we're going to repeat all the way around for row 3. So we're going to need to put a single crochet into the next 2 single crochets. And then we're going to put a V-stitch around this bobble. So we're going to double crochet, and remember, you can go into the same stitch that you put the bobble in right here, or you can go in between the 2 stitches underneath the bobble. I'm going to go into the same stitch, and I'm going to double crochet. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to do the same thing in the same stitch, another double crochet. And you kind of have to adjust these V's just a little bit to get the bobble around them. Just like that. Again, single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. That. And V-stitch around this next bobble. So double crochet into the same stitch as the bobble. Chain 1 and do another double crochet into the same stitch as the bobble. And like I said, kind of just adjust the stitches and pop the bobble out in between the double crochets. And repeat. Single crochet into the next 2 stitches. There's 1 and 2. And again, we're going to V-stitch around the next bobble. Double crochet into the same stitch as the bobble. Chain 1 and double crochet again in the same stitch as the bobble. Kind of pop it out like that. And then repeat. Single crochet into the next 2 stitches. Alright, I'm going to repeat this pattern until I make it around to the end of row 3. Alright, I'm coming to the end of row 3, and you should have ended in a V-stitch here. I'm going to switch colors. You should have 6 V-stitches and 12 single crochets at the end of row 3. So I'm going to slip stitch into my first single crochet, but I'm going to switch colors. So I'm just going to go into the top of it, drop my black, and bring in my multicolored, and pull it through as the slip stitch. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and start row 4. We're going to chain 1, which does not count as a stitch. We're going to put a double crochet into the first 3 stitches. So a double crochet into the first single crochet, a double crochet into the next single crochet, and then a double crochet in this double crochet of the first V-stitch, like that. Okay, now we're going to work triple crochets. We're going to work triple crochets behind this chain, and where they're going to go is, I'll show you. So we're going to yarn over twice like we're going to do a triple, and right back here, here's the V. There's a loop right down here, right under the V, and we're going to put 3 triples into that one loop. So there's 1. It's very, very easy to find. 3 triples into the same loop. 2. And there's 3 triples into that spot, just like that. Alright, so now we're going to start the repeat of row 3. Sorry, row 4. This is row 4, right? Okay. And now we're going to put a double crochet into the next 4 stitches. So we're going to put a double crochet into the next double crochet that was part of the V-stitch. And then a double crochet into each of the next 2 single crochets. and then a double crochet into the next double crochet, which is part of the V-stitch. Now again, we're going to do the 3 triples behind this chain. So yarn over twice like you're going to do the triple, flip your work, and you can see the V-stitch right here. Just take your hook right down and you'll find the loop. I mean, it's super easy. It's just right there. See that? 3 triple crochets into that loop. There's 1. Oops, that was a double. I need 3 triples. There's 2 and 3, and there you go. And again, we're going to repeat 1 double crochet or into the next 4 stitches. So you're double crocheting into the double crochet of the V-stitch here. Double crochet in each of the next 2 singles. Double crochet into the next double crochet, and again we're going to work 3 triples behind this chain space. So yarn over twice like you're going to do a triple, and where this V-stitch is, there's a loop right there. Very easy. And we're going to put 3 triples into that loop. There's 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to repeat this pattern all the way around until we make it to the end of row 4. Alright, so I'm coming to the end of row 4. And I just did 3 triples here in the back of this chain space. I have 1 double crochet left. I'm going to go ahead and double crochet into the top of it. Now you should have a total of 42 stitches. And we're going to go ahead and end by slip. I'm not going to switch colors. I'm going to keep this color on my hook, and I'm going to slip stitch into my first double crochet. Just like that. That'll end row 4. And we'll go ahead and we're going to start row 5. So we are going to chain 1. And we're going to put 1 double crochet into the first 5 stitches. So this one would be our first one. So yarn over, go back into that same stitch. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to put 2 double crochets into the next stitch. 2 doubles into the next. 1, and there's 2, and that's the repeat that we're going to do for row 5. 1 double crochet into the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2 double crochets into the next stitch. So I'm going to repeat this all the way around of 1 double into the next 5, and then 2 doubles into the next. 1 double into the next 5, and 2 doubles into the next, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of row 5. Alright, so I'm coming to the end of row 5 here. Now, normally you would end with 2 double crochets in your last stitch because that would complete a repeat, but we're not going to put 2 double crochets in the last stitch. We're just going to put 1. And you should have a total of 48 stitches now. So after your last time that you did 2 doubles in the same stitch, go ahead and put 1 double in the remaining 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember, do not put 2 doubles into the last. You have to have 48 stitches at the end of this round. So I'm going to switch colors here. I'm going to go back to black. So for round 6, I'm going to go in slip stitch here in the top, but I'm going to switch back to my black. So I'm going to drop that multicolored yarn and pull the black through like that. And we'll go ahead and we'll start round 6. We're going to chain 1. Now we're going to go back into the same stitch and we're going to work a single crochet into it, and then a single crochet into the next 2 stitches. So that would be 3 single crochets there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do a front post triple crochet down here into this chain space from this V. So we're going to yarn over twice like a triple, and we're actually just going to do the triple into the chain space of that V stitch. Guess it's not really a front post triple, it's just kind of a triple into that chain space down there. Make sure you don't do them too tight. You don't ever want to do these too tight, just like that. Okay, and now we're going to put a double crochet into the next 4 stitches. This starts the repeat. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and now we're going to do another front post triple crochet, or a triple crochet actually, down here in the same chain space as the last. So yarn over twice and go into that same chain space and do your triple crochet. Just remember to never do these front posts that we do tight, just like that. All right, let's start with 4 single crochets. 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we are going to come down here to the next chain space, right down here, and put a triple crochet through the chain space, just like that. Not too tight. Single crochet into the next 4, and that's including the one behind the triple. We're not leaving any stitches blank here. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and front post triple again into the same chain space. Just like that, and this is what we're going to repeat all the way around, and you can see that's making like those little V stitches that you see. Again, single crochet into the next 4. Remember, we don't skip any stitches for this stitch here, we just go directly into the next stitch. Single crochet in the next 4. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Down here in the chain space, way down here, the next chain space, triple crochet into that space, single crochet into the next 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and triple crochet again down here into the same chain space. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat this pattern all the way around, and I'll meet back up with you when we make it back here to our starting point. All right, I'm coming to the end of round 6, and I just did a triple crochet. I have 1 stitch that remains. I'm going to go ahead and single crochet into that stitch, and I am going to switch colors here. Now you should have a total of 48 single crochets and then 6 of these V stitches. So, and then 48 singles. So I'm going to go ahead and switch my color out here. I'm going to go back to my multicolored. So I'm going to end with the slip stitch into my first single crochet. I'm going to pull my multicolored yarn through like that. And now we'll go ahead and start round 7, I believe. 1, 2, 3. Yep, I lose track. I'm sorry. All right, so now what we're going to do is chain 1. And we are going to put a double crochet into the first 4 stitches. So go into this very first one, and that counts as first one. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to put 2 double crochets into the next stitch. And that's the pattern we're going to repeat for round 7. 1 double crochet into the next 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 2 double crochets into the next. So I'm going to repeat this pattern all the way around until I make it back to the starting point. 1 double crochet in 4, and then 2 in the next. Double crochet in 4 and 2 into the next. All right, so I'm coming to the end of round 7, and you should end with 2 double crochets into your last stitch, and you should have a total of 72 stitches now. I'm going to keep the same color, so I'm just going to go ahead and slip stitch into my first double crochet. And now we're going to work a row of bobbles again, which means that we have to turn our work. Go ahead and just turn your work like this. Now I'm going to slip stitch 1 time to the next stitch, to this one right here. Just like that. Okay. Now we're going to do the bobbles, but we have to increase while we're doing the bobbles. So there's a certain repeat for this. So we're going to chain 1, and we're going to pretend like it's not even there. So we'll go ahead and we'll start the repeat. So we're going to put a bobble into this stitch here. Remember, we are on the back side of our work. And then we're going to put 1 single crochet into the next stitch, like that. And then we're going to put a bobble into the next stitch. And a single crochet into the next. And then we're going to put a bobble into the next stitch. Now the next stitch is where we're going to increase, and we're going to put 2 single crochets into the next stitch. And that will be the repeat for this round. So we'll go ahead and start the repeat again. It's going to be a bobble into the next stitch, and a single crochet into the next, and then a bobble into the next stitch, and a single crochet into the next, and a bobble into the next, and then the next stitch is our increase stitch, so we put 2 single crochets into that stitch, and that is a repeat now for this round. It is bobble, single, bobble, single, bobble, 2 singles, bobble, single, bobble, single, bobble, 2 singles, all the way around until you get back to your starting point. All right, so I'm coming to the end of round 8, and I just did a bobble. Now you should be able to end in a complete repeat. That means your last stitch, which is right here, because remember we slip stitched over one, so this stitch really hasn't been worked. It gets 2 single crochets in it, and that will end round 8. Now counting all the bobbles and all the singles, you should have a total of 84 stitches. So I'm going to keep this color on my hook, and I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into the top of my first bobble. And I'm going to turn my work back around to the front. I'm going to actually chain 1 and turn my work back around to the front. So that's what it looks like. It's okay if it's flipping up and wavy and whatnot. We're gonna take care of it right now. Round 9. Round 9 is very easy. Round 9 we're just going to be working 1 double crochet in every single stitch. So we're gonna go and we are going to do our first double crochet right here into the top of this bobble where we just slip stitched into. And then double crochet into the next 2 singles. This is round 9 that we're on. And then double crochet into the top of the next bobble. By the top I mean if you take your bobble and if you flip it, you'll see these 2 loops right back there. Right there they are. That's the top of the bobble. And then 1 double crochet into the next single crochet. 1 double crochet on the top of the next bobble. 1 double crochet into the next single crochet. 1 double crochet into the top of the next bobble. And then remember there's every so often there's 2 single crochets in between the bobbles. So now 1 double crochet into the next 2 singles. So I'm just going to repeat this pattern all the way around. 1 double crochet into the top of every bobble and 1 double crochet into every single crochet. This is round 9 all the way back until we get back to our starting point. Alright, so we're coming to the end of round 9. That is very, very important that you have 84 stitches all the way around. So I'm going to go ahead and end by slip stitching into my first double crochet here, and I'm going to switch colors at this slip stitch. So I'm going to go into it, Drop my multicolored yarn and bring my black right back up. Try not to tangle them, but I seem to always end up doing that. It's okay. I'm throwing this over here for now. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna bring my black yarn through that slip stitch. There we go. Alright, I don't know why I brought that over here. I'm taking it back. I'm taking it back. Okay. I gotta put it somewhere. Alright, we're gonna start round 10 now. And we're gonna be working with the black yarn. So what we're going to do now is we are going to chain 1 and we're going to put a single crochet into the first 7 stitches. All right, starting with this first one here. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we're going to do a double triple crochet all the way down here around this post, this black post. All right, so we're going to yarn over 3 times. 1, 2, 3. We're going to go all the way down around the post of this stitch. We're doing a double front post double triple crochet, and then we're going to pull it through. Now remember to do these post stitches loosely. Do not make them tight or your work will get all cramped up. Alright, let me show you that again because I didn't even show you. Yarn over 3 times and go around the post of this stitch and draw up your loop. Now yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. Yarn over and go through the next 2 loops. Yarn over and go through the next 2 loops and the remaining 2 loops, just like that. All right, now we're going to do a double crochet or a single crochet into the next 7 stitches, and we do not skip a stitch for this post here. All right, so we go directly into the next single crochet that hasn't been worked, and we're going to do 7 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and we're going to do our front post double triple crochet around this stitch right down here. So you ready? I'm going to yarn over 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Go all the way down and just stick your hook right through that post. I like to fold my work in half. It's easier that way. Draw up a loop. Remember, try to do this as neatly, but as loose, a little bit looser if you can. Yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. Yarn over and go through the next 2 loops. Yarn over and go through the next 2 loops and the remaining 2 loops. And that is your front post double triple crochet. There it is. You did it. That's what we're going to repeat all the way around. Let's do it again. 1 single crochet into the next 7 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Front post a double, a triple down here. So we're going to yarn over 3 times all the way down right around that post. Pull your loop through, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops, yarn over and go through the next 2 loops, yarn over and go through the next 2 loops, and then the remaining 2 loops, just like that. Single crochet into the next 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a front post double triple around the next one. Yarn over 3 times all the way down right around the post of it. draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops, yarn over and go through the next 2 loops, yarn over and go through the next 2 loops, yarn over and go through the remaining 2 loops, just like that. And that's what we're going to repeat all the way around. It's not that bad, is it? Just seems bad, I guess. It looks intimidating, but it's not. Single crochet in the next 7. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Front post double triple right down here. So yarn over 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Go around that post, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, go through the next 2, yarn over the next 2, and the remaining 2, just like that. And I'm going to repeat this pattern all the way around until I make it back to my starting point. Alright, I'm coming to the end of round 10. I did 7 single crochets here. I have no more stitches left, but I do have to still do a front post of double triple in this last spot down here. Like that. And now I'm going to go ahead and end by slip stitching into my first single crochet. And now at the end of row 10 you should have a total of 96 stitches, and now that is including every single crochet plus the 12 front post double triples. Those count too. Now if your work's flipping a bit like mine, that is just fine. We will take care of that. So we're going to keep this same color on the hook. I'm using the black. I'm going to square it off now. So now we're going to make this circle into a square. So squaring it off starts round 11. Alright, row 11. Man, I'm running low on black. I hope I have enough. Otherwise it's going to be different, 2 different colors. We're going to start where we just slip stitched. And we're going to square it off. So we're going to chain 1. And we're going to go back into that same very first stitch here. And double crochet. And then we're going to double crochet into the next stitch. And into the next. So that's 3 double crochets we did in a row. Now we're going to work 4 half double crochets. So there's 1 half double, go to the next one, 2 half double, go to the next one, 3 half double, and the next one, 4 half double. Now we're going to do 9 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we're going to do 4 half double crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to make our first point, which would be on this post stitch here. All right, on the top of it, we're going to work 2 triple crochets. There's 1 and 2 into the same stitch like that, and then we're going to work a chain of 2, 1, 2, and work 2 more triple crochets into that same stitch. So that is the corner for this time around. It's 2 triple, chain 2 and 2 triple. So we got our first corner made. So we're going to repeat it again, starting way down here with double crochets. So we're going to work 3 double crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 half doubles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 singles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4 half doubles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 doubles, 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to work our corner, which would be right here at the top of this post stitch. So it gets 2 triples. There's 1, 2, chain 2, and 2 more triple crochets. And this is what we're going to repeat all the way around. So now you have 2 corners made. So we just keep repeating that same pattern all the way around until we get back here to our starting point. Okay, so I'm coming to the end here, and I was able to finish out my complete repeat, and I have this one post stitch left, and that will be for the last corner. So in that corner we will do 2 triples, chain 2, and 2 triples. Now you can go ahead and end by slip stitching into your first double crochet over here, and I'm actually going to clip the yarn now. I'm not going to carry it up anymore. It's easier just to clip. Now that will end row 11, and you should have a total of 108 stitches with 4 chain 2 spaces. Remember, we don't count the chain 2 spaces as stitches. So that's what it's kind of looking like. A little wonky. Little wonky. It's okay. We'll get her fixed up. Oh, the colored yarn is still attached. I'm actually going to clip it off too. Clip it off so you can, longer so you can hide the tail. Alright, so I'm going to go around again. Now we're going to start. You can start in any chain 2 space that you want. Alright. Any chain 2 space. And we're going to chain 1. And we're going to go back into this chain 2 space, and we're going to work 2 double crochets. So there's 1 and there's 2. Like that. Now we are going to work 9 double crochets in a row. Not counting those 2 that we just did. Not counting those. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we're going to work 9 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we're going to work 9 double crochets again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, which should bring us to our chain 2 space. Now in the chain 2 space, we are going to work 2 double crochets, a chain of 2, and 2 more double crochets in that same chain space, just like that. Now we're going to repeat what we did here, right here. So 9 double crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 9 half double crochets. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then it should be 9 doubles to finish out until you get to your chain 2 space. So go ahead and finish it out with doubles. There should be 9. And then in chain 2 space, we're going to do the same thing that we did at this chain 2 space. We are going to work 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 doubles. So we're just going to repeat this pattern all the way around until we get back to our starting point. All right, I'm coming to the end here around 12. And I'm at the beginning, and remember we only put 2 double crochets in the beginning of that chain 2 space, so let's go ahead and end by putting 2 double crochets in the same chain space. Now instead of doing a chain 2 here, we're going to half double crochet into the first double, and that is going to act as our chain 2 space. That way we're right in the center there and we can start again. Now at the end of this round 12 here, you should have a total of 124 stitches. Remember, it's very, very important that you keep the correct stitch count or it will not work out. All right, so let's start round 13. We're going to keep the same yarn on a hook, and we are going to chain 1, work right back into this chain space here, and we're going to work 2 double crochets. Now this time we're just going to be working 1 double crochet into every single stitch. Now remember this stitch where we put the half double, we got to work a double crochet in it. All right, even though it has that half double, make sure you hit that stitch, otherwise your stitch count will be wrong. So we just started out with 2 double crochets in that first chain space, and now we're going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch across until we get to our next chain 2 space. So I will meet back up with you at the next chain 2 space. Remember, it's just all double on this row. Alright, so I've made it to the chain 2 space, and in the chain 2 space we're going to be working 2 doubles, a chain 2, and 2 doubles. And then we're going to repeat this pattern all the way around, working on 1 double crochet into every stitch and 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 doubles in the chain 2 spaces until we make it back around to our starting point. So this round is very easy. It's just all double crochets. Alright, so some people expressed some concerns that they would stop the granny square here, that adding all this hoo-ha up here was too much. Well, I like the too much. But by all means, if you want to stop it here, have at it. There you go, you got a granny square. It looks stained glassy, but I'm going to go a little bit more. So I'm going to break out my black. Alright. So you can start in any chain 2 space that you want. Any one. Now we're going to be doing a bunch of these post stitches. Now these are going to be some long post stitches, alright? It's okay. You got it. Okay, start in any chain 2 space with your black yarn. And pull it through. And we're going to work chain 1, and we're going to work 2 single crochets into that chain space. All right. This is the fun part. You ready? It really is. All right, so we're going to do a single crochet into the next 7 stitches. Now make sure that you get this very first one here. We don't count the 2 that's already in here. We're starting our count from right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we're going to be working around these posts that are down here. And if you see, you know, they're pretty far away, right? Pretty far away. So we're going to go around this first one right here. So we're going to start off and we're going to yarn over 6 times on our hook, all right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now remember to make these as, you know, not extremely tight. You need to make them a little loose, otherwise it'll bunch up. It's going to bunch up a little, but don't do it real tight. We're going to go way down here into this one here that is right up along the corner. We wrapped 6 times, and we're just going to go right around the post of it. And we're going to draw up a loop and yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. Yarn over and go through the next 2 loops. Yarn over and go through the next 2 loops. Yarn over and go through the next 2 loops. Yarn over and go through the next 2 loops. Yarn over and go through the next 2 loops. And the remaining 2, yarn over and go through the remaining 2 loops. Look at that. That wasn't even hard, was it? That wasn't hard at all. Let's do it again. Let's single crochet into the next 7 stitches. Remember, we don't leave any blank behind it, so go directly into the next stitch there and single crochet 7 times. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, we're going to yarn over again 6 times on our hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to go around the same post right underneath that stitch that we just did. Same post. Not this one. Same one that we just hooked it to way down here. And do the same thing. Draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2, yarn over and go through the next 2, yarn over, go through the next 2, yarn over, go through the next 2, yarn over, go through the next 2, the next 2, and the remaining 2. There we go. Look at that. Look how easy that is. That's super cool, isn't it? All right, so why don't we make a little crossover in the middle here. So we're going to do a single crochet into the next, so let's see, 2 stitches. We're just going to do 2, all right? 1 and 2. Now since we're kind of going straight down, well, we are going at a bit of an angle, but we're not going to make these posts quite as long. They're still going to be long, but not quite as long. So we're only going to yarn over 5 times this time instead of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. And we are going to go into this one right over here. Not this one, but this one. Right around the post of it. Draw up, and we're going to do the same thing loosely. Yarn over and go through the first 2, yarn over, go through the next 2, yarn over, go through the next 2, yarn over, go through the next 2, yarn over the next 2, and the remaining 2, just like that. There we go. Now we're going to do a single crochet in the next 3. So remember, kind of push that over to the side a little bit. You got to get that behind it. Single crochet in 3. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to back it up and we're going to go to this one. So we'll have just a teeny tiny crossover. We're going to yarn over 5 times for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one right here. Go right around it. Draw up a loop and yarn over and go through the first 2. The next 2, remember to do this loosely. Yarn over the next 2, yarn over next 2, yarn over next 2, and the final 2. Now we got a little crisscross. Okay, now we're going to do a single crochet into the next 2. 1 and 2, like that. Now we're going to go over here to the next one that's hitting the next corner. It's far away. It's far away. We're going to yarn over 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All the way over here around the post. And do what we do. Draw up a loop loosely. Yarn over, go through the first 2. Yarn over, go through the next 2. Yarn over, go through the next 2. Yarn over the next 2. Yarn over the next 2. Yarn over the next 2. And the final 2. There we go. Just like that. Now we're going to single crochet into the next 7. Remember, you start with the first empty stitch up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now we're going to do this one again. All right, we're going to do it again. We're going to yarn over 6 times, and we're going to go on top of the post that we just did. So kind of up here. As you can see, these kind of move around, so you can adjust them. But 6 times. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go on top of that last stitch. There we go. just like that. Do the same thing. Drop a loop, yarn over first 2, yarn over next 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 2, and remaining 2. Now we should have 7 stitches that remain before we get to the chain 2 space. Let's go ahead and single crochet in the remaining 7 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Look at that. We did it. We did it. Don't worry if it's flipping a bit. It's okay. We'll take care of that, all right? We always take care of the flippies. All right. Now we're going to round a corner. And we are going to put 3 single crochets into the corner space. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to repeat what we just did. So we're going to put a single crochet into the next 7 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we're going to go around this one again. It's actually going to have 2 on each side that goes around it. So we are going to do the next one on top of the one that we just did. So 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And same post. You could slide these down if you need to on top of the ones that we just did, and do the same thing. Yarn over and go through the first 2, yarn over next 2, yarn over next 2, yarn over next 2, yarn over next 2, next 2, and the final 2, just like that. Now slide those back up. Okay, there we go, just like that. Now we're going to do a single crochet in the next 7 again. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we got to hit that one more time, okay? But this time we're going to put it on the bottom. All right, so it's 6 times yarn over again. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go at the bottom. All right. So that this one in actuality has 4 posts around it. And loosely yarn over and go to the first 2. Yarn over next 2. Yarn over, go through the next 2. Yeah, next 2, yarn over next 2, yarn over next 2, and the remaining 2. There it is. Slide them up. That's the corner. Here it is. It's looking pretty cool. All right, we're still repeating what we did on the other side. So we're going to do a single crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. Now we're going to work on this one right here, and we're only going to do the 5 yarn over for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go on the post of that one and do what we do loosely. Yarn over and go through the first 2, the next 2, and keep doing that until there are no more left. 2 at a time. Boom, just like that. All right, now we need to do a single crochet in the next 3. You'll probably have to push that post over a bit. Make sure you get the first empty single crochet. When you do 3 in a row, there's 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to do a crossover. We're going to go back to this one right here that we didn't work in yet. Ready? It's a 5 times yarn over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we do what we do loosely. Yarn over and go through 2 stitches at a time until there are no more stitches left to work. There we go. Now we're going to single crochet into the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and if you look, we got a nice crossover again to match the other side. All right, time to work on this bad boy in the corner again. We're going to work it the same way we did the other times. It gets the 6 time yarn over. All right, I don't even know what that stitch is called. Double, triple, quadruple, something. I'm just calling it a 6 times yarn. 6 times yarn over. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Into the stitch that's in the corner here, around the post of it. Drop a loop in loosely and yarn over and go through 2 at a time until there are no more left to go through. Remember, not real tight, like that. There it is. There it is. Single crochet in the next 7. You might have to pull that over a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we're going to do it again. We're going to go in the same spot, but we're going to put it on top of the one that we just did. So if you need to pull it down, that's fine. This is a 6 times yarn over. Oh, I messed up. Okay, on top of that one we just did, and then we do what we do, yarning over 2 at a time so we don't have any more to do. That, we did it. Now we should have 7 stitches that remain before we get to our chain 2 space. We can only hope, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to put 3 singles in the chain 2 space. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to repeat it again and again. All right. Single crochet into the next 7 stitches. My black yarn's getting tangled because it's almost gone. I apologize for this mishap. 7 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we're still working this bad boy here. This one goes on the top of the 2 that we just did. 6 time yarn over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the top, very top, and then we do what we do, yarn over 2 at a time until there are no more loops left on the hook, like that. Single crochet into the next 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We gotta do one more time here. This one's gonna go on the bottom, so if you want to pull all these loops up, that's fine. It's gonna go on the bottom of this stitch here because the corners get 4. 6 time yarn overs in the corners. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember on the bottom. There it is. Yarn over and go through 2 at a time, loosely, till there's no more. There we go. And you can pull that up. Now we're just going to keep repeating what we did. Remember, if it's flipping up on you, that's okay. We'll fix it. I probably just didn't make my post stitches loose enough, but hey, we all make mistakes and it is fixable. All right, single crochet into the next 2. 1 and 2. Now we're going to work in not this one, but this one, and this is a 5 times yarn over. The ones in the middle are the 5 time yarn overs. Okay, single crochet into the next 3. You'll probably have to scoot that guy over. Now we're going to back it up and go into this one that we did not work in yet. 5 times yarn over. Loosely. That, got our crossover, single crochet into the next 2. Okay, we're at a corner again. We're working in a corner here. 6 time yarn over in a corner. Loosely. Okay, 1 single crochet into the next 7. I'm gonna have to pull that post over. Okay, 6 times yarn over in the same corner again on top of the one that we just did, so you can pull that one down if you need be. Should have 7 stitches before you get to the chain 2 space here, so go ahead and single crochet in the remaining 7. Three in the corner or in the chain 2 space. Okay. Now we're just going to repeat what we've been doing, okay? Actually, we only got 1 side left. I'll just go ahead and finish it out. I'll go ahead and finish it out. A single crochet into the next 7 stitches. Okay. 6 times yarn over. This one goes on the top of these 2, so if you need to pull them down a bit, that's fine. But it goes in the corner here. That. Double crochet or single crochet, I'm sorry, into the next 7. Pull that post over if you need to. One more time on this one. Goes all the way on the bottom though, so you can pull all these posts up to the top if you want. And we're going to go around this one 6 times yarn over because it's the corner. on the bottom. Corners finito. All right, here we go. Let's work on this crossover. Single crochet into the next 2. All right, we're gonna do this one right here, not that one, this one first. Middle ones are always a 5 times yarn over. Slide it over, single crochet in the next 3. Cross it over, and we're going to go into this one right here, 5 times yarn over. There's our crossover. Single crochet into the next 2. All right, we're at a corner. Now we have already done this side over here, as you can see. So what we need to do is do a 6 times yarn over. And this one goes on the bottom. Remember, we already worked in it 2 times at the beginning, but go ahead and put this one on the bottom. Okay, single crochet into the next 7. Okay, we're going to go around this same one again, but we're going to put it on top, okay? It's not really like life or death where you put it, but I'm going to go ahead and put it on the top here. So 6 times yarn over for this corner. Go on the top there. Should have 7 stitches that remain there before you get to your chain 2 space. Go ahead and finish those out with single crochets. Okay, now if you remember in the beginning we only put 2 single crochets, and all the other corners we put 3. So we're going to go ahead and put 1 more single crochet to match the other corners. Now we have 3 there, and with a slip stitch into the first single crochet. So why don't we look at what we got going on. So remember, you can push these corner cables up. You can push all the cables up actually to the top of where they need to go. Yeah, I think they look pretty good. Everything looks super excellent, perfect. All right, so we're gonna use black again, but I'll tell you the truth, I'm not gonna have enough black, but I'm gonna go as far as I can, which is kind of disappointing because I want 2 squares the same. All right, let's go ahead and work. So this is what it looks like now. So you're done with all that cabling, or whatever you want to call it, post stitching, crossing over, making a web of stitches or whatever. We're done with that. Now we got 2 more rows and we'll be finished. Okay, so we're going to try to get this to lay flat, plus we do have a few more stitches than we need, so we're going to have to do some decreasing just a bit. On this round we're going to do some decreasing, okay? So we're going to start off with the chain 1, and we're going to go back into that very first stitch, which is actually the middle single crochet, and we're going to work 2 double crochets. There's 1 and there's 2, a chain of 2 and 2 more double crochets. 1 and there's 2. Now we're going to put a double crochet into the next 7 stitches. All right, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now we're going to do a double crochet 2 together. So we're going to make this post stitch here and the stitch before it 1. So we're going to yarn over and go into the stitch before that post stitch, draw up a loop, and yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. Then we're going to yarn over and go on top of that post stitch there, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. You got 3 that remain, yarn over and go through all 3. So we took 2 stitches and we made it into 1. See that? Alright, so now we're going to do a double crochet in the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to do a double crochet 2 together over this top of this post stitch and the stitch before it, just like we did a while ago. So we're going to yarn over and go into the stitch before it, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2, yarn over and go into the top of the post stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 and the remaining 3. Now we're going to do a double crochet into the next stitch, just 1 double, and then we're going to do a double crochet 2 together into the next stitch and into the post stitch here. So we're going to yarn over, go into the next stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2, yarn over and go into the top of that post stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 and the remaining 3. Now we're going to do a double crochet into the next 2 stitches. There's 1, 2, and we're going to do a double crochet 2 together over the next stitch and the post stitch. So we're going to yarn over, go into that stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over and go into the top of the post stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2 and the remaining 3, just like that. Now we're going to put a double crochet into the next stitch, and then we're going to do the double crochet 2 together over the next stitch and the post stitch. Just like that. Now we're going to do a double crochet into the next 6 stitches. Then we're going to do a double crochet these two together, stitch before the post stitch and the post stitch. Like that. And now we're going to do a double crochet into every stitch until we get to the middle single crochet. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 9th one will be your middle single crochet. So go ahead and work 8 double crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The next one is the middle of the 3, and in that one we are going to work 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles. And now we are going to repeat what we did on this side on all the remaining sides. So we're going to start off with the double crochet in the first 7 stitches here. We did not count the stitches that we've already done. I'm just repeating what we did on the other side, so we're going to do a double crochet 2 together over these 2. Okay, double crochet in the next 6. Double crochet these 2 together. Double crochet in the next stitch. Double crochet the next 2 together. Double crochet in the next 2. Double crochet the next 2 together. Double crochet in the next. Double crochet the next 2 together. Double crochet into the next 6. Double crochet the next 2 together. And then you want to double crochet into the next 8. And then the next one, the 9th one, will be the middle of your 3 single crochets, and that's where we put our point. We put 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 doubles. Now we're just going to keep repeating this all the way around until we get back to our starting point, and that's where I'll meet back up with you. Alright, I did it. I ran out of black yarn. Right here, I lost it, yarn chicken. That's okay. I had to replace it with gray. Anyways, so I've made it to the end. After I did my last double crochet 2 together, I had 8 stitches that remained. And we started right here with 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 doubles. We're going to end with a slip stitch into our first double crochet, and then we can clip that yarn off. That really sucks. Oh well. All right, clip that off, and we got one more row to do. This is just a single crochet row with the multicolored or whatever color they used for the main thing. Very easy. Final round, finishing row. We just start in any chain 2 space, chain 1, and we're going to work 3 single crochets into the chain 2 space, and we're going to work 1 single crochet in every stitch around until we get to our next chain 2 space. And then when we get to the next chain 2 space, of course, we'd put 3 single crochets into that. So this finishing round is very easy. This is it. It's just 1 single crochet in every stitch, working 3 single crochets in each of the corner stitches. And when you make it back around, you just want to end by slip stitching into your first single crochet, tying off, hiding any remaining tails that you have, and that's it. Then you'll be finished. Think of the possibilities that you can make with this square. I'm going to stop because my video is way too long. I'm not going to go all the way around. But once you go all the way around, you just kind of go through and straighten out your corners a bit. Make sure all your post scissors are pulled up to tops like this, and you know, fiddle with it a little bit. This, if you want to block it, you can block it. I don't block anything, so I ain't blocking, but it is a possibility if you want to. There should be one of these in between every 3 puffs. That's it. So that's what it kind of looks like. Well, let me switch out to the one that's actually really finished. So this one has been went through all around it with the single crochet, and everything is as it's supposed to be. So I hope that you enjoyed my tutorial. I apologize it was long. Sometimes intricate things call for a longer video, I guess. But if you make this, I'd love to see a picture. Come show me on my Facebook page. I'd like to see what color yarns that you use. I mean, the possibility really is endless. It doesn't have to be stained glass granny square. You know, it could be anything that your heart desires. And then you can make it into a blanket or a bag or whatever. Scarf. Cardigan. Oh, that'd be pretty. Anything. So, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that like button. Leave me a comment below, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Take care.